Hey everybody, it's Paul from Alexander Knife Sharpening and Laser Engraving. The other day I showed a set of Henkel's knives that came in that needed refurbishing and sharpening, and this one Japanese knife came in with them, and you can see it's pretty beat up too. Has a lot of chips in it. It's not polished at all anymore. The handle's really dried out. So I pretty much used a very similar process. I started out with the radial disc abrasives to remove the oxidation. This Japanese knife had a very nice grain pattern or scratch pattern to the metal, so there was no reason not to do a very nice cleanup on it. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm starting on the 220 grit radial disc, that's the red one, and just knocking all of that oxidation off. And you can see I'm hitting up here around where the handle joins in. That was also very dull and scratched and oxidized. Once I get this done, then I will move on to the 400 grit and kind of polish that up. But the other thing I'm going to do here with this particular knife, I'm going to hit the wood handles with the radial disc. Now you can use radial discs on wood handles, especially when they're good and kind of, when you see the like dry spots and just sometimes it's watermarks and things that you'll see on them. I have found radial discs work really well for this. And one of the probably the biggest mistakes people make with these is just pushing too hard. You don't have to push hard. Let the radial disc do the work for you. So light pressure always. If you're pushing too hard, and here you go, I'm starting the handles, and you will be like just blown away with how quickly you can kind of bring these back. And even though I'm going to polish it in the very end with a regular polishing buff, the radial discs just do a really nice job on this. So I'm hitting literally the entire knife with the 220. Okay, so now I'm moving on to the blue radial disc. This runs between around 400 and 600 grit. Keep in mind, grit is a thing that's very meant per abrasive. So one of the things that confused me very in the beginning when I got into sharpening, and you see all these different types of things, and all of them have grits on. A lot of times they refer to the abrasives quality by grit. A 600 grit radial disc is nothing like 600 grit sandpaper, okay? These are only for polishing, and it's just kind of a way that they rate the abrasive, but don't expect it to react like 600 grit sandpaper. It is nothing like 600 grit sandpaper, okay? It's just, that's how they do it. But these are polishing aids. They will remove scratches, fine scratches, but they are nothing like sandpaper. They are not a very strong abrasive. If they were, you would be seeing tons of dust and things coming off, which you don't. They're a very clean way of polishing. Now I'm on my Jet variable speed buffer. This is the fine buff, and I am using a compound made for handles. And just watch the wood. You will see it literally getting glassy and really shiny. It just starts to come out beautiful. Doesn't take long, just a little bit of buffing with the fine buffing wheel and a good wood compound. I have two that I really like. There's one that I use from Renegade, and then I also like this cream colored bar that I get off of Amazon. It's just a plastic and wood polish, but you can immediately see how much better that handle looks. I mean, it's shiny right here in the video. You can see how nice that looks, and it just does a great job. And I absolutely love restoring wood handles. It's such a wow factor when your clients come back in and then see their knife looking like it was new again, and when they first bought it, and you can see we can see the grain in there. And so this is my Jet variable speed buffer, and I think it's the best buffer in the world. It is truly a fantastic buffer. I am generally running this around 1800 RPMs. It has 3 presets on it. One is 900, one is 1800, and I think the last one's like 3600. I rarely buff up that high. I am almost always at 1800. I do use the 900 often on things that I need to be more gentle on, but for the most part, the majority of the things I'm buffing at are around 1800 RPMs. Unless I'm having to mirror something out, then I will go up to that 3600. But it is a fantastic buffer. It was one of my big splurges a few years ago when I bought this. I suffered with a lot of cheap buffers for a lot of years, but if you truly want the greatest buffer that you have ever used, this Jet buffer, and also the stand that it's on, because that stand is made by Jet as well, you can see how stable everything is. It is just a fantastic, well-made, easy to use buffer, and everybody that I know that does have it feels the same way. Like, there isn't a better buffer out there than the Jet. All right, now we're going to a Bora 7 belt. This particular 1x30, which is a V-bore, is set up for 15 degrees. I like to do Japanese knives. On this one, this Japanese knife is heavily chipped. So if you watch, you'll see I'm spending a good bit of time on this Bora 7, and that's because I want to get all of these chips out. I don't want to get through the whole progression and then find out I still have chips. And because this knife was pretty dinged up, I put a very good effort into making sure those chips are gone. If you look real close there, you can see there's still plenty of chips there. So it needs all those ground out, and then it's going to need some thinning, and then to go through the whole progression. So at this point, if you look towards the heel on the stroke going away, you'll see there's a small chip there that I'm just waiting for that to be gone. It's just about out. And then I can kind of call quits there. And there it is right there, and I just saw it go. And that's kind of what I was looking for, that last chip to be out, and a little bit of thinning up here at the front tip. And now I'm feeling pretty good about it. Now we can jump to our A30 belt, and this will really start to put that new edge in there and give it a nice look to it. The Bora 7's really for getting all that damage out and reprofiling, but the majority of the work when I'm using a 1x30 is done with the A30, which is about 600 grit. All right, so I like what I'm seeing here. Now I'm ready to go to my A16 belt, which is 1200 grit, and just refining it even more, and it's really starting to look like a proper Japanese knife here again. Now, sometimes with a Japanese knife, I'll bring it all the way up to 2500 grit. That's what this Trizac belt is. This is a 2500 grit Trizac belt. And if you look real close, you'll see that it's starting to mirror that edge out real nice. That's what you'll get out of that 2500 grit Trizac. So the first strop had purple compound, and then this is about 1 micron, yeah, 1 micron diamond spray on this round leather wheel. Now, because this knife had so many chips in it, my first cut test is just a regular slice, very slow. I'm just feeling to make sure that all of those chips are gone, and that went real well. Now I'm doing little push cuts down that piece of paper just to make sure it's push cutting everywhere, and it feels really great. And I'm really happy with the reconditioning of this Japanese chef's knife here. Sorry guys, I was a little off on my camera work here, but I was trying to show that it is literally flaying the edge of that piece of paper. You will see here at the end the tiny little curl of paper where I flayed it literally off of the edge. But unfortunately, I was in the wrong spot on the camera to capture the flaying of the edge. Now I'm just spraying it up real well with cleaner to get off any compound, because remember we did polish this on the buffer. And then here's a nice look at the finished product there. You can see how nice that handle came out, how well it buffed up on the buffer on what was a very heavily used and chipped Japanese knife.